The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The two activists allegedly abducted over their opposition to Manila Bay reclamation projects have been released. Julila Castro and Jed Tamano appeared to have blindsided authorities yesterday when they revealed they were taken by the military in the NTF-LCAC's own press conference. Authorities claim the two surrendered willingly after leaving the communist movement. Tamano and Castro says, though, that they were abducted by the military while they were walking in Orion, Bataan on September 12. This contradicts the Philippine Army's statement that the two activists traveled from Bataan to Pampanga seeking to surrender until they eventually did so in Bulacan. They added that they were coerced into signing an affidavit during their supposed surrender.
Ang totoo po dinukot kami ng mga militar sakay ng bag. Napilitan din kami na sumurrender. Dahil pinagbantaan yung buhay namin. Yun po ang totoo.
So wala naman po kami sa bundok. Hindi po kami armado. Tapos dudukutin niyo po kami. Ano pong karapatan niyo para gawin yun?
70th Infantry Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Ronel de la Cruz denied knowing of the alleged abductions, saying he was not even present when Tamano and Castor signed their affidavit. Meanwhile, NTF-LCAC stood by the Army's version of events.
Klaro naman po, inedit pa nga po nila yung salaysay nila. Wala po kami ron. Ginuhaan po sila ng salaysay.
The House of Representatives kicked off plenary deliberations on the 2024 national budget with heated debates over the office of the Vice President's confidential funds. Minority Leader and ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro again clashed with House Appropriations Senior Vice Chair Stella Kimbo over the matter. Castro took this chance to question the transfer of 125 million pesos in contingent funds from the Office of the President to the Office of the Vice President back in 2022. Castro maintains that the use of these funds were unauthorized as the allocation was not expressly provided for under the 2022 GAA. But for Kimbo, these are expressly allowed under an existing line item in the Good Governance and Social Services projects of the OVP. The debate got so heated that it prompted the suspension of the session. Here's how it went down.
One can force her opinion, but one cannot force her facts. Maling bahagi ng libro ang tinitignan po ninyo. Maliwanag, nagdeklara ang Supreme Court na ang contingent fund ay isang line item appropriation.
No. Kasi po, Madam Speaker, ang tinatanong ko lang dito kung meron o wala na expressly provided for. Wala pa po ako dun sa contingent fund.
At payagan niyo po kung ipaliwanag kung bakit meron. Ang problema po is ayaw po natin makinig.
Naano po yung oras ko, Madam Speaker. Pinapatanong kaya nga po yes or no lang po para mas mabilis.
Madam
So,
Speaker,
kanina sinasabi natin, hindi ako
payagan
nagtatanong.
niyo sana ako, Madam Speaker.
Now, in the middle of the debates, independent opposition lawmaker and Albay Representative Edsel Lagman also pointed out that contingent funds are usually abused. He suggested setting limitations on these and called for a review on policies for CIFs. Kimbo says she agrees with Lagman's suggestions and said that these should be tackled during the period of amendments.
You would recall that during the time of President Duterte, the contingent fund was used for the construction of a resort. We could provide for a special on general provision on the utilization and reporting of utilization of confidential intelligence fund in the General Appropriations Bill to make the utilization and reporting more transparent.
Still on the lower house, Speaker Martin Romualdez stands by the constitutionality of the Maharlika Investment Fund but says the chamber will cooperate with the Supreme Court if it deems necessary to make changes to the law before it's implemented. Romualdez's defense for the MIF follows the petition filed by Senator Coco Pimentel and other groups for the High Court to void and stop the implementation of the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Romualdez says the House trusts the wisdom of the Supreme Court to evaluate the merits of the petition and arrive at a fair decision. The petitioners urge the SC to declare the MIF unconstitutional, saying the passage of the law bypassed the constitutionally mandated legislative process. Romualdez says, though, that under his leadership, the House has always prioritized the observance of the legislative procedures under the Constitution. The Land Bank and the Development Bank of the Philippines have each remitted their share of seed money for the Maharlika Fund. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The alleged cult in Surigao del Norte, Socorro Bayanihan Services, says it is ready to face Senate inquiry over accusations of sexual abuse by its group. Senator Risa Hontiveros earlier bared in her privileged speech supposed sexual abuse against minors as well as child marriages in what she alleged was a cult. The group, though, denied all accusations of the sexual nature. They also denied the supposed use of private armies and supposed involvement in the illegal drug trade. Mamerto Galanida, who sits as vice president of the Socorro Bayanihan Services, says the group is ready to clear their name.
Definitely wala po, fabricated yan. Yung mga parents ng mga bata na sinasabi nandito sa amin, how can they allow their children to be molested, to be raped? Handa po kami, handa kami. Maski anong forum, kaya if possible, they come and find out para ma-intervene nila yung mga parents.
So far, 8 minors have filed complaints against the group at the Agusan del Sur City Prosecutor. Among the cases filed were kidnapping, serious illegal detention, and violation of the anti-child marriage law. The National Bureau of Investigation and Philippine National Police are now looking into the cases. The Justice Department, for its part, said it was confounded by the report.
Ganito mga kulto kasi common dyan eh. Di ba meron pa tayong ibang insidente dyan kung saan pinasok ng pulis ang isang isla na ganun din ang naging problema dati. Kaya hindi ito bago sa ating pagkaalam. Ito lang, yung mga may bago na naman nagsusulputang mga balita, ito talaga alarming na talaga na it's about time that lahat tayo mga Pilipino mag-raise tayo ng awareness.
The United States has expressed concern over the reported damage to corals in the West Philippine Sea. In a tweet, U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Mary Kay Carlson, called the coral destruction troubling. She added that Washington will keep working with its allies in protecting natural resources. The Philippine Coast Guard confirmed significant damage to the seabed of Rosal Reef and Escoda Shoal. According to their recent surveys, the marine ecosystem appears to be severely affected, appearing lifeless or showing only minimal signs of life. The PCG also suspects that Escoda Shoal's underwater terrain may have been modified due to the noticeable discoloration of its seabed. The Philippine Air Force receives a brand new surveillance aircraft donated by the United States. The U.S. turned over the Cessna 208B Grand Caravan to the Air Force at the Clark Air Base in Pampanga. Defense Chief Gibo Chodoro and AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner were present in the event. In total, the Philippine Air Force now has 3 units of this aircraft in their inventory. It can be used for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions. The plane can also maintain flight for over 5 hours at maximum operational altitude of 10,000 feet. According to Chodoro, this is part of the growing alliance between America and the Philippines. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.